because it lied to us, right? The movie lied to us. White men can indeed jump. Sort of. Hey there, welcome to the channel. My name is Tiffany and I like to break down media messaging with comedy and conversation. And we do that with deep analysis on the movies we watch and the movies we love. But I'm taking a very different approach today because I want to dig deep into this film's characters, specifically the three lead roles in the movie. And there is a reboot on its way in 2023 that nobody asked for, but I think it's important to do a recap of the original film if you haven't watched it already. White Men Can't Jump is a 1992 flick starring Wesley Snipes as Sidney Dean and Woody Harrelson as Billy Hoyle. Now, Billy Ho is a white basketball hustler who takes advantage of black players underestimating his skills on the court. When he gets the best of Sidney in a home court shootout, Sidney sees an opportunity for them to become partners and run the con across the courts of LA. At the same time, Billy is on the run from some mobsters he owes money, along with his Jeopardy-obsessed girlfriend, played by Rosie Perez. The three are connected by their love of the hustle, the game, and each other. And I know that a lot of us love this movie, but I will challenge you to a rewatch. I want to see if you can take the movie in without letting nostalgia sway you. There is some good stuff to take from this movie though, and I don't want us to lose the meat without spitting out the bones. So to simplify, we will discuss three areas of focus in this video: culture, gender, and character. And you're going to want to stick around to the end because I have a feeling that the character section is about to blow your mind. From 1980 through 1996, Los Angeles served as the intersection for a boom in pop culture, sports, political drama, a changing business landscape, drug addiction, O.J. Simpson, civil rights, and acts of nature. The entertainment industry relocating to LA made sure that cameras were always rolling. And that engine started roaring once White Men Can't Jump released in March 1992, a month after the infamous LA riots happened the same year. The riots were sparked after a videotape went public of white officers brutally beating Rodney King during a traffic stop. Once all officers were acquitted of the crime, there were several days of rioting in the predominantly black South Central neighborhoods. Over 50 people killed, more than 2,300 injured, and thousands arrested. Total property damage equaled almost $1 billion, making the riots one of the most devastating protests in American history. And that's the backdrop of this film's release. Now, we first need to acknowledge that media is powerful. There was a powder keg about to explode in the early 90s, but without video, nothing would have shifted. Even with the Jim Crow South winning the Racism Olympics, California at this point was considered diverse, yet still it was embroiled in a culture war. So what do you get when you shove a lot of different people into one place? Stereotypes are rooted in truth, but they overgeneralize large groups of people. The movie gives us a perfect example. White men can't jump, which is rooted in the belief that all black men are naturally gifted athletes and able to dominate any other race in basketball. In the opening scene, the unassuming Billy Hoyle meets the overconfident Sidney Dean on his home court. He trash talks his way over and challenges Billy to a bet.
My name ain't Chump, it's Billy Hoyle.
Billy Hoyle. Billy Hoyle. Billy Hoyle. Okay, Billy. Now, can you count to 10, Billy?
Yeah. Good. What's the score, Billy? I don't know.
Then you're a chump.
Fact is, I missed this shot. I'll walk away. I'm still a chump.
Go ahead and walk away.
But you missed, and you've been beat, well, not once, but twice by a slow, white, geeky chump.
Here it is. This is the big one.
The first cultural thing to point out is that black people make fun of each other as terms of endearment. We will roast, fry, cook, or any other variation of kitchen activity as a means of familiarizing a relationship or a connection. And I'll never forget getting on the school bus and holding my own with other kids that tried to make fun of me. This might have been seen as a form of bullying, but it was always about that battle mindset. Black kids will embarrass you and then make you stronger for it. Now, I've made fun of my white friends before, completely joking, and they couldn't tell. It wasn't until I realized that this is unique to black culture that I started to be more careful when interacting with different races. And similarly, Sidney is talking so much trash on the court. He's arrogant and obnoxious. But in reality, it's all love. The other characters on screen know how this works. He's mostly talk and he is showboating for the entertainment. Now let's hop over to some white stereotypes for a second. White men can't hear black music. Once Sydney and Billy hustle an unstable player in Raymond, they flee the scene. Billy puts on Jimi Hendrix's Purple Haze, much to Sydney's dismay. If you didn't know, Hendrix was Black and Native American, but his two bandmates were white. Most of his girlfriends were white, and his audience was virtually all white. But the part we want to focus on is what Sydney says to Billy. You can listen to Jimmy, but you can't hear him. There's a difference. Just because you're listening to him doesn't mean you're hearing him. Though Black music often dominates pop culture, this argument is still very much relevant to today. Many people feel that hip hop and soul music have been gentrified by other racial groups. And that's without fully understanding where the music comes from. The same parallel exists in the lyrics of Purple Haze, which we'll actually get into towards the end of this video. But besides the white and Black stereotypes, we also get the Afro-Latina perspective as well. Puerto Rican actress Rosie Perez plays Gloria, who is Billy's live-in girlfriend in the film. And besides this being a career-making performance for Perez, she doesn't escape Hollywood's treatment of Latinas on screen. So as we transition into our second focus area, we're going to discuss Gloria and her intersectionality. And intersectionality basically describes overlapping social identities that point to advantage and disadvantage, including gender, race, class, sexuality, religion, and so on. So for example, I'm a Black woman. That means that there are systems that are set up for and against those identities. And things like discrimination at work or desirability as a romantic partner may apply. Gloria is a Latin woman, and her social identities are at play in this film, which actually gives her a really interesting background in this role. And hands down, Gloria is my favorite character in the film because her arc actually progresses and grows over the course of the movie. Now, the movie centers Gloria and Billy's relationship without treating it like a novelty. So that is really well done. Even now, we got movies treating mixed-race couples like a circus. So this feels a lot more authentic. They do paint Gloria as this fiery siren with a heavy accent. I do have a theory about why the sexual angle is significant to the plot, but I just want to say as a side note, I wish that films would respect female actors enough to not always make them be naked on screen. Like somehow exposing your body means that you're more serious of an actor. It really pushes this idea that Latin and Black women are hypersexual and that drama just comes with the package. So like Hollywood, let's not do that.
Oh, you're gonna get it. Oh, honey. Oh.
Now, where the movie gets things right is in the camaraderie we see between Sydney's wife, Rhonda, played by Tyra Farrell, and Gloria. Billy just lost the money that he made in the last con after Sydney hustled his own hustle. But Gloria ain't having it. She drags him to the Crenshaw district to the dean's front door to ask for that money back. And I love this scene because the gender roles are very quickly reversed. We see that both of these women, they are strong, they are relentless, and they are strategizing about what to do over a cup of coffee.
I want my money back.
Oh, you're not getting the money back.
Oh, yes, I am, because you won't give me my money back.
I'm not giving you nothing.
Billy and Sydney were teammates. Teammates can't hustle each other.
Oh, really? Why not?
It's not artistic.
Let me tell you something. I don't care about art, okay? All I care about is getting out of the damn Vista View apartment building because there ain't no vista, there ain't no views, and there sure as hell ain't no vista of no views. Now, you want cream or sugar or what?
Cream.
And this directly contrasts all that bravado and machismo we see from the men in the film. Sydney is unapologetic about owning the court, but when it comes to his wife, he's yielding and patient and kind. There's never any indication that the mother of his child belongs to him, but rather that she comes before anything else and can sway him in his decisions. Billy, on the other hand, is confused about his masculinity and identity in his relationship. He's very possessive and controlling, but Rhonda suggests to Glow that Billy has a problem. And it's at this point that we as an audience can see the hypocrisy that's running through everyone's veins. The men are inviting chaos because of their love of the con. The women are managing the chaos for their own benefit, and no one is winning because everyone is greedy. The hustle ain't even worth all that, especially when you lose yourself and your relationships in the process. The film does a great job of flipping paradigms and subverting expectations. And it works because the chemistry between Snipes, Harrelson, and Perez, it's just flawless. The movie is further cementing them as these cultural icons. But the budget for the film was $31 million. and it blew those numbers out of the water. It came in at $90.8 million at the box office, and it was the 16th highest grossing film in 1992. Now, if I were to rate each character from there's hope for you to you ain't gonna make it, the obvious order would be Gloria, Sydney, Billy Ho. And starting with my girl Glow, we meet her for the first time when Billy returns to the apartment after hustling Sydney. And though Gloria seems to be the brains behind the operation, she defers to Billy as her sole focus. Her devotion is twofold, primal and carnal. She operates out of fear for her life, so she's in survival mode, staying in their home and deferring to Billy as the sole provider. The intimate relationship they share also seems to cloud her judgment, and she can't see Billy for who he really is, rather than who she wants him to be. She's ready to run when she thinks it's the Stucci brothers, but when Sydney arrives in their home, she's ready to die.
Who's this?
Sidney Dean.
So?
Right on. You know, your boyfriend here, he took some money from me today, and I just happened to notice this bottle.
Oh, you take that.
Oh, shoot, honey. What's up with you, man?
Looking back, we might assess Gloria and Billy's relationship as toxic because it was, but it's a pretty common example in our culture. Like, how many times have you seen a reality show or Notebook-esque style romance that shares a similar picture as couples' goals? The rose-colored glasses that Gloria has about Billy is very much the way that we see the dysfunction in relationships in our culture. Like it's something that you should aspire to. There are so many people stuck in this kind of love thinking they need it to survive, but child, it drains you and it leaves you feeling empty. Now, Gloria's hope is in her dreams of winning Jeopardy. Not only is this a hilarious premise, it's easily my favorite scene because we get to see what really drives this character. She's been preparing to be on Jeopardy the whole time, and even with Billy attempting to squash her dream, Gloria has trusted this process because she knew her time would come.
National disasters for 100, please.
This volcano's eruption buried the city of Pompeii in 79 AD. Gloria.
What is Mount Vesuvius?
Ooh, I'd better get a ruling on that one. Our judges indicate that that's close enough. Select again.
All right, let's go with foods that start with the letter Q, please.
A game bird related to a partridge. Gloria.
What is a quail?
Correct. You get to pick again. How much of that are you going to risk on your knowledge of the subject? Foods that start with the letter Q.
All of it.
According to legend, it was the forbidden fruit in the Garden of Eden.
What is a quince?
Yes.
And just a quick side note, I love seeing Alex Lamar Trebek in this scene. God rest his soul. Even though Gloria achieves her dream, she does wake up to a sad reality. She trusted Billy and believed in him, but his gambling hangs over them like a dark cloud. And Glow's constant affection towards him has enabled his addiction, but Billy quickly found a new supplier. Sydney Dean, devoted husband, father, and master manipulator. We can't deny that Sydney is endearing and fun to watch, much like Ray Gibson in the movie Life. But what I love about this movie's take on the hustler tale is that Dean is not just getting women and flashy for the sake of it. His character is driven by a deep desire to take care of his family. And I respect the intentional choice this movie made to make the black man a father and a husband, and one with a black wife. Now, that's no shade to interracial couples, but it is something that you don't always see on screen. The movie shows us Sydney's family for this very reason. We see him relent whenever his wife Rhonda enters the scene. He responds when she calls, and he comforts her when she's upset. It's not something you expect from a character that spent the majority of the first two acts flexing on everyone else. Billy even calls him out for this in one of the more cutting moments from the movie.
You just like all the other white boys I ever met.
You're just like every other brother I ever saw on the playground.
Well, come on with it, baby. Kick some
You'd rather look good and lose than look bad and win. How many dinners has Chain set your family back?
Now, Billy isn't wrong here. Looking good is important in the black community. And much of this is rooted in America's racism and wealth disparities. Today, financial literacy is still an issue that plagues many black and brown families. And this assertion that Sydney is more interested in looking good is really a poignant commentary on the poverty mindset that many people have adopted. However, what Sydney lacks in upward mobility, he makes up for with his heart of compassion. When Billy begs Sydney to help him get Gloria on Jeopardy, Sydney explains that everybody has a cross to bear, and you're my cross. He can't help but feel pity towards Billy, probably because he knows that conning is not a life you get into if you have a ton of other options. Sydney's character humanizes hustlers in a way that Boys in the Hood and Juice really can't. Although those are both great films, Can't Jump is funny and comedic, so it slips in these messages of showing compassion to those that we are already judging silently in our hearts. Honorable mention goes to Rhonda discovering that their house has been broken into. The poetic justice of that moment, it's just too good not to talk about. Sidney finds himself in the worst possible situation. Money taken, dangerous conditions for his wife and family, and all of his dreams going up in smoke. And in order to save his marriage, Sidney needs at least one more score. And there's only one person who can help him make that happen. Now back to our scale of there's hope for you to you ain't gonna make it. And at the very bottom is Billy Ho. What we learn from the start of the movie all the way at the beginning is that Billy is unbothered. This man has not a care in the world. He's listening to the Venice Boys trio and he's waiting for his opponents to arrive like he doesn't have a whole set of mobsters after him. And what's really interesting with Billy is my assumption at the top of the film. And I feel terrible admitting this to you guys, but I thought to myself, this white man is gonna be the good guy in the end. Now, I know I've seen the movie before and it's been a long time, but I had already formulated my own assumption on my rewatch from the very beginning. Billy is a good guy because he's white and non-threatening. And I'm gonna put myself on blast because I really wanna expose you guys to the way that programming works, particularly with the things that we see. Movies and television actually lower our brain waves to an alpha state, which is where we are most impressionable. The information that we see or hear on screen, it works on our subconscious mind. So what we believe, how we perceive the world and ourselves and our values and what we think about, all of this can be reconfigured with what we watch on TV. The trick is that most of us are not consciously watching entertainment. We might just be using it to bring a little joy or an escape into our lives. Media subconsciously taught me that white guys are good. And so when I see Billy, I assume he has nothing but purity surrounding his character. That's why you have to look at things so critically. It's very important that you filter your biases through those checks in your brain to affirm if something is true, if it's fake, if it's reality, if it's not. And those checks are either built up or torn down by what content you consume. If I haven't already blown your mind, I need you to smash that like button in expectation that I'm about to. And let me know in the comments anything that I missed that you think is an insight that the rest of us can benefit from. The movie's title works in multiple ways. White men can't jump, referring to hops in basketball, but jumping, leaping, aiming high, these are all euphemisms for going after your dreams. And Billy can't reach new heights because he's locked into this addiction that takes him high, but brings everything and everyone else around him low. Think about Jimi Hendrix's Purple Haze, the lyrics of the song, and I can't play it for you or I'm gonna get copyrighted to death, but it says, "Purple haze all around. Don't know if I'm coming up or down. Am I happy or in misery? Whatever it is, that girl put a spell on me. Help me, help me."
I'm in a zone, man. I'm in a fucking zone. Would you relax?
White Men Can't Jump is a cautionary tale about addiction, not just for Billy as a hopeless gambler, but Sidney's addiction to looking successful and Gloria's addiction to Billy's potential. The movie's climax is with an ultimatum, yet another gamble that Gloria puts in front of Billy to give up the hustle or to give her up.
Are you serious? Are you seriously thinking about playing with my money?
Your money? Honey, you gave it to me.
To get a job!
I promised Sydney, honey.
You promised me!
Look, Gloria, we can take these guys. I mean, they over the hill.
Yeah.
Look, Billy, you gambled my money and went through.
Honey, I promise you this is the last time.
Yeah.
And this is what I mean by that scale that we talked about, right? Billy can't see through the haze of the question. He guises it in helping Sidney get his house back in order, but as Sidney reminds him, he didn't have to say yes.
Brother, I only have 4 words for you. Listen to the woman.
What the hell does that mean, listen to the woman? I tried to listen to the woman. You're the one who talked me out of it.
Wait a minute, I didn't have to talk to you very long.
I would almost argue that this movie's a tragedy if I didn't think it was so entertaining. I mean, yeah, the final scene where Billy dunks the basketball, that's fine. It was anticlimactic, but it's fine. And we love it because it lied to us, right? The movie lied to us. White men can indeed jump. So like they actually did lower the basketball hoop to 9.5 feet instead of the regulation 10 feet because Woody Harrelson couldn't quite get that high. But I digress. There are white men that jump and have jumped, and even there's a white man that won the dunk contest this year. So there you go. And I don't know if they're trying to capture the same energy in this remake of the original, but the new White Men Can't Jump premieres on Hulu in May 2023, and it's written by Doug Hall and a favorite for this channel, Kenya Barris. And I'm gonna give it a shot, right? Like I'm gonna watch it to see if it entertains me, but let it be known that nobody anywhere asked for any of these reboots of all of our classics. We don't want them. Anyway, if this is your first time on the channel, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for sticking around to the end. And this is how we do analyses. So if you want to dig deep down into the psyche of film, and if you learned something today, I encourage you to like and subscribe for future videos and drop a hashtag #whatisaquint in the comments so we can just confuse everybody else. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Whew, ciao. Let me tell you something. It's hot, okay? It is hot. It's hot in here. I think we got it. All right.